Do you have an active toddler who doesn't want to sit still and listen to a story? Today, I want to share 5 kinds of books that will help you to engage an active toddler and help them get really excited about reading. So the first kind of book that I love for kids who are babies and toddlers and even up into preschoolers is the touch and feel book. And these kinds of books are the ones that have a special surface that has a texture so kids can feel the texture as you're reading. I have an example here, and this is My Fuzzy Valentine. And this book has fuzzy Elmo on it so that kids can actually feel Elmo's fur while you're reading the book. These touch and feel books are great for younger kids because they can explore the sense of touch as you're reading. And so you can encourage your child to feel the different textures and to experience the book with you while you read. It gives them another way to connect with the book. In addition to just hearing you read the words, they can also feel the texture as you're reading. And this is a great learning opportunity for kids that are learning to explore and experience their world. And it's also a great way for you to be able to keep their attention while you're reading. The second kind of book that I love for kids who are toddlers and are learning how to get excited about books is a flat book. And there are lots of different flat books for different skill levels of kids. So younger kids might enjoy the books that just have one flap per page. If you have an older toddler or a younger preschooler, you might look for a book that has many flaps per page. We love this series, which is the Lift the Flap First 100 Words series. And this particular one about farm animals has been a favorite in my house and with my kids. And so these books are great because they have many flaps per page. So it really keeps kids engaged with lifting and opening the flaps. And of course, whenever you're reading a flap book, you want to let your child be the one who is opening the flaps and exploring the different things in the book. This book is also great because it has photographs, and books that have photographs are really wonderful for kids who are younger, like 2 and younger especially, because those kids are trying to understand the world as it is. And so younger kids are really drawn to books that have photographs because those photographs really help them to explore and understand their world. So any kind of a flat book where you can give your child the job of opening the flaps is another great way to keep an active toddler involved. By the way, you always want to give your child a job when you're reading a book to them. So if your book doesn't have flaps, then you might give your child the job of holding the book or of turning the pages. And if your child can't turn the pages quite by themselves yet, you can take the book and open it and then open the next page just a little bit like that and hold it like this with the page open just a little, and then invite them to turn the page the rest of the way. Okay, so the third kind of book that I love for toddlers and younger kids that have shorter attention spans is a flat book with sounds. And these come from this series of Noisy Peekaboo books. And there are some others that I think are made by Scholastic that are really good. This particular series has been changed, and the older ones are better and work better than the newer ones, but the newer ones are still really good too. And these books are cool because they actually make a sound when you open the flap. So in this particular book, the baby is trying to find something that's lost, and when you lift the correct flap, it makes a sound. So it has a little photo sensor right there. And when the book is exposed to light, when there's light that hits that photo sensor, it makes the sound. So this is a really fun one because kids can lift the flap and explore, and then it gives them that extra reward when they finally do lift the right flap. So if you have a child who really is struggling to engage with a book, one like this that has a sound can really help them to be able to focus on that for a little bit longer and to really enjoy it. The fourth kind of book that I love is one that gives kids directions to do. And my favorite example of this one is this book, Don't Push the Button by Bill Cotter. But there's a whole series of these, and then there's a variety of other really great ones that have those directions for kids in them. But this book is great because it gives them things to do on each page. So it starts out, there's only one rule, don't push the button. And then there's this really big button that kids, of course, are going to push, right? And then they go through and it tells them to push the button. And then later it tells them, push the button a bunch of times or shake the book. So just different directions for the kids to do as they're reading. So they really feel like they're a part of the story and they're involved in the story itself. And so that's a really great way to keep the attention of a younger toddler or a very active child who is struggling to pay attention to reading. And then one bonus kind of book that I have is this kind. And these are the books that have the sound buttons on them. So as you're reading along, it will give you a clue in the book to push the button and get the different sounds. So like, here's the clue, and then you match that up to the button. And when you push the button, it will play a song or do a sound that goes along with the story. So again, these books are good because they give kids a job to do. They can look for the matching symbol and then push the button for the correct page. So really all of these books, it comes down to giving your child a job to do when you're reading. And when you have a younger toddler or even a preschooler, it's really important that they are engaged and involved in the process of reading the book. So whether you're having them push the button or whether you're having them open the flaps or feel the touch and feel space, or whether you're even having them turn the pages, it's really important that your child has some sort of a job to do to help keep them engaged and to make them feel a part of the reading process. So hopefully this gave you some things to think about and some new encouragement as you are teaching your toddler and preschoolers to love books. Please feel free to share your favorite books for toddlers and preschoolers in the comments.